I'm Aaron.
Megan.
Mark.
Naomi.
Joseph.
Stacey.
Dylan.
Rachel.
And we are
Monaghan Neighbourhood Youth Project!
The town of Monaghan has 5 post-primary schools catering for nearly 2,000 students. Due to recent cuts in back-to-school subsidies, many families are finding it hard to cope with the increasing cost of uniforms. So one group of youngsters decided to do something about it.
2 teenagers from every school in Monaghan came down, and we were just chatting about what we were going to do for the project, and we come up with an idea. We would contact the St Vincent de Paul, and they told us that there was a demand for used uniform.
So from that they came up with a number of ideas, one of which was the uniform recycle scheme.
Under the recycling scheme, students and parents donated uniforms to St Vincent de Paul, making life easier for cost-saving families.
They needed some posters to promote and get the word out of uniform recycling, and me and another member of Froga came together and decided that the message we wanted to give was the older generation giving the younger generation a helping hand, simply just by giving some jumpers or trousers.
One of our members go on to the local radio station, and we got an article in the newspaper.
As the project moved on, then they involved the local principals.
I came to hear about this project when Joseph and Mark came into the office to discuss the project. I thought it was very innovative. I thought in the current climate it was obviously very useful and something that the school supported wholeheartedly.
So with the principals on board, they set up collections in schools and further afield.
They had a box in the school, and then they organised the actual day itself, where we had 2 main centres, one in the Neighbourhood Youth Project here and the other one was in our local shopping centre, which came on board.
We had a mannequin dressed up in one of our uniforms, and we had a box there all painted up, and there was a lot of people donating uniforms. We collected 158 pieces of uniform altogether, which was outstanding. I didn't think we would get that much.
Once all the clothes were collected, they were passed on to St Vincent de Paul.
The St Vincent de Paul made the bottom area of their shop available, and the uniforms were displayed here and sold at a very minimal charge to families that were in need or found it very difficult to afford uniforms, and then they were able to provide uniforms at a lower cost for their young people that are returning to school.
It was a great idea, in my opinion, for the simple reason is that we have now gained in the region of 200 uniforms from this idea that was put forward by the Ferogia group, and it's made those available to less well-off families. It does encourage young people to think of others and the people in need particularly, and I think that St Vincent de Paul would benefit greatly from the project, and I think the students are to be congratulated.
When the students came initially with the idea of the project, I thought, yes, you have to be lauded and applauded for your initiative, and anything that makes you realise that there are many, many people less well off than you, and this project will help those people who are less well off. Well, certainly we were very, very willing and happy to support it.
They did it very discreetly, and I think people have learned that there's no great deal about sharing, and what somebody doesn't need, somebody else can benefit from that.
The tiger economy may have led us into a situation where people were selfish and money grabbing. To see young people now being prepared to recycle, to help others, to reach out to each other and build a real sense of community and a real sense of togetherness, I think there's a rich future in that. So it might not be economically as rich, but I think socially it's going to be much better for us in the future.